So today's show is on the topic of do we really care? Looking at what our priorities are. So just a brief introduction of Michelle. She's known as the energy alchemist. So she specializes in emotional healing and personal development. So she uses a range of holistic therapies, Reiki healing, emotion code therapy, and spiritual healing. So basically releasing trapped energy in the body carried around from our past and childhood. So that's really interesting. So before we start on our topic, I just wanted to, if you don't mind, give a brief introduction of what you do in that.
Mm-hmm. I think the easiest way to describe what I do, because it's quite complex actually, and you did a really good job there, so well done. Throughout life, we kind of pick up trapped energies. So, we've experienced lots of things in our life, and maybe we've not been able to kind of process things at a certain time, especially when we're children. So we don't necessarily have the tools available to be able to do that. So it's, really important that we, as adults, we start to actually look within and see how that affects us in our day-to-day lives today. So the job that I do is I kind of have a little look around in your energy field and find out what emotions that you've trapped throughout your life, and basically go in there, locate them, find out when they happened, and release them out with magnets.
Oh, wow.
Which sounds really kooky.
Yeah.
But I promise you, it's quite normal.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's a really simple technique, but really poignant and really powerful. So yeah, it's really needed in today's society, I think, especially with mental health and the epidemic that we've got with that.
Yeah, excellent. Wow, really, really interesting. So today's topic, so hopefully you can relate what you do on a day-to-day basis and kind of link it up to...
I'll try my best.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, wherever you can, inshallah. Yeah, so we had a couple of conversations, a couple of phone calls before today's show.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, we could really feel the flow and energy.
Yeah, we can kind of talk, can't we?
Yeah.
Once we start and get going.
Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So, what energy can you feel right now?
I'm feeling all right. I was a bit nervous because I spoke to my children before I came here, and I said, have you got any advice for mum, before I leave to go on the radio? And I actually wrote it down because I thought this was really good to share with the listeners. Oh. So my 10-year-old gave me this advice. She said, be funny, mum.
Okay.
So I'm going to try, inshallah. Be yourself, which I thought was really important for this show because it's about being the real me. Yeah. And she said, remember, if you mess up, you're not meant to be perfect, which I thought was beautiful, mashallah. Oh, so and lastly, the best bit of pep talk that I thought she could give was, you're not going to die.
Oh, that's nice.
So
that's
I thought,
really
wonderful. That's great. Coming from a 10-year-old. So, we've got to just get on with it and be ourselves, I think.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Yeah.
Would she mind if I come to her next week before I come on the show?
Yeah, I think she could be everybody's therapist. I might start employing her actually and paying her minimum wage.
Brilliant.
I do need to just give them a shout out as well. Is that okay?
Of course, go for it.
Okay, so hi girls. Hope you're being good.
Brilliant. That's great. It's good support from children. So we have got about an hour. We've got quite a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, during our conversations, we had some really good points I wanted to mention. You had some fantastic things that when we actually spoke yesterday. It's really good. So any of you guys at home who want to call in, studio telephone number 01733 602 133. If you want to text or WhatsApp in 07745 278 978. We're live on Facebook Live and Twitter. So if you leave a comment in there, please do. It'd be really nice to hear from you. So, Michelle, I'm going to go straight in because I've been thinking about this since yesterday, and that's one of the things you mentioned is really nice. And that is when we were talking about do we really care, and I don't want to make that sound negative. I want to make it sound in a positive way as well. But yesterday you mentioned a really good point when I was, when we were on the phone and we had a conversation on the phone. So you said that you know, when you analyze situations, for example, when you meet someone and you ask them how they are, so how are you doing today, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned, we spoke of quite a lot of things about that, and I wanted to just touch on it as my first topic, and that is, we spoke about body language, eye contact,
Yeah.
how how we facial features are, and how we, and two people when they're talking, if I'm asking you, how are you doing, and you start explaining to me, and we spoke about eye contact, the
Yep.
face that I pull, maybe,
Yeah.
you can read it, right? Whether I'm really
You
interested
can.
or not. So I wanted to ask you, firstly, is looking at both sides of the argument, is that if I asked you, like, how are you doing today? How's your day? There's some places where I've done that before, and the other person, they've either, if they've asked me how my day's going, and I start to speak to them, sometimes they don't pay attention, or maybe they're losing focus. Now, touching on our topic, do we really care? I mentioned to you yesterday on the phone that some people, sometimes, with all honesty, they're not really bothered. They don't want to know. So they don't really want to know. They're just asking just for the sake of. And looking at the flip side of that, some people don't want to know because maybe they're worried about something, right?
Or they've got, enough on their plate as well. They're thinking
Exactly.
about their own things.
Yeah. So maybe they're just being polite.
Yeah.
So from what you can analyze, what do you think, like, with dealing with people, what do you think what have you found?
I think for me, we spoke about this yesterday, and I said that I don't enjoy kind of surface conversation. So I'm one of those people that are really annoying. So I want to know more. I want to push more.
Yeah.
I want to dig a little bit deeper. And my experience has been with this, the exact same thing that you've just mentioned, that some people, they're in a habit with it, So when we come to people and we ask them, how are you? It's a very mediocre way of kind of making connection with people, I think. We're walking around a little bit like robots. And especially when we're really busy with, our jobs and our family, and, we've got a lot on our mind. There's a lot going on today. So it is just a quick, how are you? Please don't give me a real response back, sort of thing. It's kind of like, this is, it's okay to say I'm fine. Yeah. It's okay to say I'm good, or alhamdulillah, that's it. Please don't have a further conversation with me. Because I think people get quite scared that you might ask personal questions, or, you might want to dig a little bit deeper, and then, you're going to have a conversation with somebody. And I actually wrote a post about this on Instagram a while ago. And just sort of said, what are the acceptable answers when someone says to you, how are you? Okay. Oh, wow. And I just feel that, we're afraid to give people our sadness, but equally we're afraid to give people our joy as well.
Yeah.
Because I think we're in this situation where it's acceptable to be mediocre, but anything outside of that is seen as too much, or people may not want to see that or hear that from me, because it could be seen as being taken as bragging, or if you kind of meet someone and say, how are you, Mohammad Abbas, and you sort of say, I'm amazing, I've had this amazing day, and it's not going to come across really well if that person's struggling that day, or so I think we kind of hold ourselves back and put ourselves we hide ourselves a little bit. We kind of keep it within the confines of what we feel is acceptable. So that's something that I've noticed, and I try every opportunity that I can to kind of push those boundaries, really, and dig a little bit deeper and say, how are you? I'm fine. How are you really? And just press that a little bit more. So,
push the buttons a bit. Get them talking a bit.
Yeah. Got to be a bit of a rebel in this life, haven't you,
Yeah. YOLO, yeah?
YOLO. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. So, do you think that you are a good listener?
Oh, straight in at the jugular there, aren't you? Like, put me on the spot. I'd like to think that I'm a good listener. I would. I think we all can probably improve on that skill. I think it's something that, again, is so needed in today's society. I think a lot of us listen but don't truly hear.
That's deep.
That's deep.
That's deep. What you just said. I want to hold you to that.
Let's have a moment for the deepness there. I think we're sort of conditioned to, like with the, whole "how are you" and those answers that we give that are acceptable. I think it's acceptable to nod in all of the right places, but we're actually, as mums especially, we're thinking about what shopping list we need to go and buy, or what our kids need picking up from, or wherever in the evenings, and work things. So we're kind of doing one thing in our mind, but our face is kind of trying to interact with somebody on the surface. Yeah. And I don't like that. For me, it's kind of, if you're going to have those one-to-one situations, we need to start being present with people and giving them our full attention, and really focusing, I guess, and being mindful in that time. I mean, for me, it's like, I don't know, I just think when you come to something like that, it's quite sacred. So if people are sharing information with you about their lives, it's really important to them. And even though your shopping might be really important to you, it's a really sacred space that you're sharing with that person, and they may feel that they can trust you and want to share that with you, that information. So I think we need to kind of honour that really, and give it the attention that it deserves.
Yeah, brilliant. You mentioned a couple of things there, and I think you should copyright that.
Patent.
Yeah. So the first thing you said was that we're listening, but we need to learn to hear.
Yes.
Yeah? And another thing you said is we need to be present. Yeah? That's really, really good. So sometimes we're actually listening. We're tempted to listening, but actually not hearing.
Yes.
So the words are coming through, but they're not processing in our mind.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't want it to process. Maybe we're worried about things.
Yeah.
You know?
I think we're scared of, if we get too close with that person and they want to share something sensitive, for instance, we're scared of receiving that and not knowing how to deal with it as well.
Oh, okay.
So, it's kind of, it's that whole, I remember your topic a couple of weeks ago when you were saying about nobody wants to talk about death. It's always very negative. And, I thought about that and I thought, it's one of those topics, like, please don't talk to me about that. Exactly. I can say, how are you? I can have that kind of surface conversation, but please don't get into those really deep topics. Which, they're not deep topics, they're real life. So we do need to start, stepping up really and holding that space for people and thinking, okay, whatever comes at me, I'm going to be calm and collected and focused and give that person my full time because they deserve it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's really nicely said. That's really good. So we can sorry, brain freeze.
We need to just fill this with a jingle or something now, don't we?
Sorry, I just got a message, so I got a bit distracted by that. So
you just did what we've just been talking about. Yeah. Look at that for a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not giving me your full attention here, Mohammad Abbas. I'm feeling it.
So you mentioned that when listening to someone, giving the full attention and talking about things like you mentioned. Yeah. Thanks. I think I'm glad one person was paying attention to my show on the last time.
It was amazing. It's amazing.
So, discussing topics, but within our comfort zone up to an extent. So just we don't have to make it difficult for ourselves.
Yeah.
If there's a topic that we find it difficult to handle, we can look at a different angle. We don't have to look at it in a negative sense. So thank you very much for that. I asked you the question, are you a good listener?
And I swerved that really well, didn't I?
The question to myself is, I asked myself, am I a good listener? And then I was telling you on the phone yesterday that I try to be a good listener because I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because someone, first of all, like my friends or family member, they've come to me to talk about something. I feel happy. They want to share something with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they feel that I'm the right person, to do that. Sorry. And that's why I like to be a good listener, because everyone's got something to say, whether it be your family member or friend. some people want to share their day, some people want to share their worries, and so forth. So what would you say, for the benefit of those who are listening at home,
Mhm.
what would you say that it's not ideal but would be helpful even to those people at work,
Yeah.
right? Because
Mhm.
some people come to work with luggage,
Yeah.
from home, right?
Absolutely.
They've got a lot
yeah.
of luggage and they're trying their best to work hard,
Mhm.
meet their targets, but sometimes they need a chat as well, right?
Yeah.
So just our attitude at work, at home,
Mhm.
in society, what would you say it's important for people to, the things that they should bear in mind?
I think it's really important to, well, for me, it's very important. And I don't know what you think about this, and we'll discuss this in a second. But I'm a big believer that we need to, we're all walking around with masks. So, we have to look acceptable, we have to say the right things, we have to, we have certain responses that we use when people say, how's work, how's life, how's it all going. We're very, very guarded in how we come to people and what we say with people. And I'm a huge, huge advocate of truth, however painful that truth may be. And truth is painful. Let's be honest with that. So I think I heard a little quote that was, let go of who we think we should be in order to embrace who we truly are.
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was really beautiful, because are we really walking around and interacting with people as our true selves?
Yeah. Do you mind just saying that quote again?
So the quote is, let go of who we think we should be in order to embrace who we really are.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're kind of wearing that mask that looks, wonderful and perfect and good. But underneath we've got stuff going on. We've got our truth that is bubbling away, like a volcano, I guess, inside of us. And sometimes we don't feel it's acceptable to allow that to spill over into normal, everyday conversation.
But can I interrupt you there? What if we feel the need to wear that mask at home?
Wow.
Where your comfort zone is. That's where where your base is. That's where your headquarters is.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's where you function. That's where you want security.
Yeah.
That's where you're expecting from your family members, mum, dad, sisters, right?
Sometimes
Brothers.
that's the toughest place, though, isn't it? And, there's that saying, isn't that we can't choose our family, we can choose our friends and our work colleagues, I guess, to a certain extent. But it's really difficult. I think especially for men, men have got it really tough at home because there's so much expectation hanging over them. You've got to go out, you've got to earn a living, you've got to be a good upstanding guy in the community. You've got to be strong and not seem to be emotional and not seem to have any worries. I really feel for you guys. And I do a lot of work with men because I feel like they're the kind of pillar of our society in my eyes. If we can help the men to drop the mask and start living a more authentic life, then the rest kind of falls into place.
Yeah. So that's a great message for all the wives out there.
I'm not doing very well here, am I?
Thank you.
I think what I want to clarify there is that the women have got it going on. The women are all clued up, But no, I think, with the sisterhood, with women, I think we have, that place to go to sometimes. We have, an array of friends that we can go and share things with. We're quite open, I think, women. And we're kind of welcomed into that kind of friendship circle. And, we can share things quite openly and vulnerably, and we can have a cry and a cuddle, and we can sort of share all of our worries and things. And it's a safe space for us to be able to do that, where I think men really struggle with that. Because there isn't that kind of connection between the guys, because the guys are totally wearing the mask here, aren't they? And showing up as the tough guy and not wanting to show that they've got any problems or anxieties or worries. And I think if you're a very special type of guy and you're really sensitive, then it's really hard for you to be authentic in a group of guys like that sometimes. And it takes sometimes just one person to say, this is how I'm truly feeling, for other people to go, wow, really? I feel like that, or I've been there, or me too, And And it's that vulnerability that I am that lights me up inside. I'm so passionate about that, about sharing that in the community, because I think that's what makes us truly beautiful, when we can tell our story, be vulnerable, and own being who we are.
That's brilliant. That's an excellent point. Whilst you were saying that, I was actually thinking a couple of things. One thing is the trust issue, trusting. And second of all, when you said expectations.
Yeah.
So the trust issue is exactly how you mentioned. I think it's important not to go all out, because it's a big step for the communities, right?
Yeah.
Especially with how our culture expects us to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be airing all your dirty laundry in one session, Mohammad Abbas. You've got to do it little by little, you know.
You don't want to see a 6 foot man come in the mosque and, start shedding tears.
And we'll all fall to pieces. It's game over.
But yeah, that's a really good point. So learning to trust, I think it's important for everyone.
And testing that trust is really important, isn't it? Just little nuggets of gold that we want to kind of share with people, and we test that. We present that in front of people and say, what are you going to do with my little nugget of truth? I think it's important to just trial that and test that and build on that, going forward.
But I just noticed, that's brilliant what you said. I'm relating that to what you got from your daughters, right? Mm-hmm. For them being your children, and them giving you that support. So this is a whole topic within itself, right?
I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. So our relationships, right?
Yeah.
Even your children would come out some really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
So wise.
Because like you see those typical cartoons or pictures or films where children, especially in primary school, it's very innocent. Mm-hmm. Whatever colour you may be, then we'll look at that. Mm-hmm. They will just get on with you.
They're very real.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no fear with them. It's not a risk for them to be vulnerable like that, which is, beautiful, isn't it?
Exactly. So that's one thing, the trust issue, which again, it's a topic within itself, and linking that to relationships. Another thing is expectations. So maybe I'm expected to wear a mask. I'm supposed to be this person, which I can imagine it's a very hard thing to break. Because if I'm expected to, as the son or as the husband or as a brother, to do certain things, then it's important for me, it's my responsibility to also look after myself.
Yes.
My mental, physical, emotional needs, right? So if I, going to the gym, feeling better myself physically, meditation, right? There's a lot of things in that. But like I said, that's a topic within itself.
It is, because it's not just expectations, I guess, from people close to us and our work colleagues and things like that. It's our own expectations. Like, we hold ourselves really high, don't we?
Yeah. I was talking to a missus about this actually, and we were talking about putting pressure on yourself. And we always talk about this, and I always say that don't put pressure on yourself, because you always get pressures from everyone else.
Yeah, we've got enough going on.
Exactly. So don't put pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's important to laugh, smile, be happy. That's really important. And it's up to you. We choose to do that, right?
Yeah.
But looking on the contrary side of that, what would you say in looking on the flip side of that, and when you look after yourself, up to the point where you start becoming a bit selfish?
Yeah. Oh, I can talk a long time on that as well. Yeah, it's there's a very thin line I've noticed with people when we talk about self-care and self-love, because I always talk about boundaries as well. Like, if somebody asks you to do something and you've got something else that is really important to you and it's a priority to you, can you say no to people? We feel a huge amount of guilt in doing that, because we want to, serve others. We want to put others first. But yeah, there's a very thin line, I think, where people think, how can you put yourself before somebody else? That's really selfish.
Yeah.
But I think, again, in today's society, we really have to look after ourselves first and foremost. It's so important. I think it's a really important topic. Again, another show that we could
maybe definitely
do a lot of content with.
Well, what we want to do, inshallah, is that we're going to carry on this topic or the idea of, I want to just touch upon about selfishness and just analysing that, as well as there's a few other things that we want to talk about, inshallah. So for those listening out there, we're just going to go for a quick break, and inshallah we will be back with you. Stay tuned, and inshallah see you in a few moments. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Here at Children of Adam, we believe water wells and hand pumps are a significant step to empowering people to live their best life. A hand pump donation is an excellent form of sadaqah jariyah for loved ones, including those who have passed away. Sa'd ibn Ubadah reported, he said, "O Messenger of Allah, the mother of Sa'd has died, so what is the best charity I may give on her behalf?" The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Water." Sa'd dug a well and said, "This is for the mother of Sa'd." A water pump is £150. Please donate by visiting childrenofadam.net or call us on 0300 321 0032.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims. Leave the hassle to us. Our multilingual settlement experts will manage the entire claims process on your behalf, with nothing to pay up front. We provide services such as credit hire, taxi vehicles, recovery, storage and much more. For full details on our range of services and a free consultation, call us on 01733 555 774 or visit our office at 249 Lincoln Road opposite the NatWest Bank. Accident Specialists. Start your successful claim today.
If you're planning a boutique celebration, there's only one choice, Mumtaz Leeds. From boutique weddings to engagement parties, birthdays to work dues, with seating for up to 300 people, a perfect location and free car park. Plus we have a private dining suite for 80 people with a beautiful waterfront view. Pre-wedding teas, parties and breakfasts also available. Mumtaz Leeds. Call 0113 242 4211.
Salaam Radio, in conjunction with the Council of British Hajis, presents a Hajj seminar Sunday the 21st of July from 1 p.m. at the Allama Iqbal Centre, 157 Cromwell Road, PE1 2EL. Multimedia guide presented in English by Sheikh Suleiman Ghani and Abdul Akbar. Learn how to perform Umrah and Hajj. Practical guide. Interactive Q&A. Health and safety advice. Hajj travel shop. To book your tickets, visit cbhuk.org/events or call 0845 833 4145. Hajj seminar, Sunday the 21st of July from 1 p.m. at the Allama Iqbal Centre, 157 Cromwell Road, PE1 2EL.
Feel like some great tasting chicken tonight? Great meal deals, wraps, burgers and sides. We've got it all at Chicken Palace. Call and collect at 302 Lincoln Road on 01733 702 447 or 8 Park Road on 01733 343750. Chicken Palace, open 11 a.m. till late.
عن أبي محمد عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنهما قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يكون هواه تبعا لما جئت.
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salaam Radio.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the show. And just reminding you, today's topic is do we really care? Exploring our priorities in life. So, Michelle, just going back to before the break, we spoke about being selfish.
Yes, we're all selfish.
You selfish buggers.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good.
So, I think it's important to keep that balance. And then I want to obviously ask you your statement on that, or your opinion. So I think it's important to look after ourselves. You should have some me time.
Yeah.
You know, we have some me time, don't we? You know, when you watch, could be even guys out there who just want to watch a really emotional Bollywood movie with some ice cream. Nothing wrong with that, is it?
No.
You know?
Absolutely not. What's your favourite flavour? I feel like you've done this before.
Mine's chocolate.
Chocolate. Oh, same.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. We can share a tub, a large tub, at some point.
In the studio.
Yeah.
So, up to what extent do you think that just on a day-to-day life, let's say you get the average Joe, and he's got obviously things running around. He's a family man. He's got responsibilities on him. What would you expect from him? So I know that, let's say he does have me time. He goes to the gym. He catches up with his friends. Goes to the mosque. Spends time with his family and that. But how would you say that it's important for him around his work colleagues or in society, in regards to being a listener? Yeah. You know, or even what kind of things are we looking at in regards to body language, eye contact? You know, because that's what you know, when we were talking yesterday about being observant. You know, when sometimes I was talking to a work colleague today, and I said to him, I hope he's listening, because I said to him about the show, and I said to him, do you know when you're talking to someone and you make eye contact, it's really important, yeah? But sometimes people get distracted, like, you know. And I said to him today, and he goes to me, I get distracted, but that doesn't mean I'm not listening. I am listening, but, you know, I just noticed that, that person walked by and that. I thought, okay, interesting, yeah?
Oh, butterfly.
Yeah. But I think those kind of body language is important, you know, especially when I'm talking to someone, and I said to you yesterday that when I'm talking to someone and they give me, like, a good body language, like they're nodding, right?
Like I'm doing right now.
Yeah. It's really
I noticed that you just picked that up.
It's really important. Like nodding, you know, I'm getting affirmation to say, you know, what I'm saying, I'm on the right lines. Imagine you start going, I'm like, oh my God, what am I saying? What am I saying?
No, you're not.
It's alive.
Yeah.
Are they still listening?
A quick hide.
What would you say body language wise? Because that's what kind of I picked up, and I like to be.
I've just noticed that you've like just totally crossed your arms there.
Yeah.
People watching on Facebook can probably see that and pick that up.
Ready to listen.
Yeah, body language is important. I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's really high when we're communicating with people. That our words actually aren't that important. It's actually how we communicate with our bodies. So yeah, it's hugely important. Which then, if we're getting distracted all the time, or we're not kind of fully there, which is what we mentioned before, if we're not fully present and we've got our own stuff playing, you know, on repeat in our heads, that's picked up so easily, because it's energy at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, people are feeling that energy between the two people that are talking. So yeah, it's a huge part of when we're listening and when we're speaking and when we're interacting with people.
Okay. Can you, like, generally speaking, you know, when you're talking to someone and you can feel their energy, you know, that bubbliness. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When they're laughing and joking.
Yes,
Sometimes, you know, they've got sorrow in the heart. I've noticed that. They have got sorrows. Yeah. They've got problems.
It's like you said, though, isn't it? It's when you've got that mask on and you're kind of delivering that standard, you know, yeah, I'm fine. Alhamdulillah, I'm great. Yeah. And you can just sense that there's something else going on. And, you know, is it our place to push them a little bit further? Or should we take responsibility for our own selves and think, I need to be more honest with myself first before I'm honest with other people as well, and sharing that with other people? I mean, I don't know. I don't know whether it's we don't want to burden other people. I don't know whether it's we're scared of if we share our truth, that will create some sort of disconnection. You know, then we'll feel rejected.
Maybe some people aren't ready for the truth because they feel they might be judged.
It
happens,
yeah,
right?
because judgment's huge, isn't it?
Imagine you're talking to a friend and you met them after a long time and they said to you they've just come out from prison.
Yeah.
The first is like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know
You'd
what I mean?
have that initial...
Yeah.
All the body language would say it all,
exactly,
wouldn't
like-
it? You'd be like, oh,
Yeah, back off.
what did you do? I'd want to know.
Yeah.
I'd be
You
like,
start
tell
taking
me.
a few steps back. You're armed. You got anything on you?
Yeah. But no, you're right, absolutely. We have this kind of inbuilt judgment that we have, which we do need to work on. We need to kind of catch ourselves when we're doing that, because that doesn't come from our heart. It doesn't come from a place of love. It's absolutely learned and conditioned within us to kind of react that way, because it's kind of like, oh, it's a taboo subject, or you know, it's not something that we've been maybe around in our own experiences in life. So yeah, it's really it's hard to hold space for people in that moment. But how beautiful that people can be that open and share that with us. It's an absolute gift, I think. You know,
it's quite sad to see, because jokes aside, when people do come out of prison, I think it's not right to judge them. I just feel I tell myself before I tell others, is that something that I'll reflect about. Let's say if my friend did come out of prison, why should I judge him? You know?
Yeah.
Instead, as a Muslim, I should make him feel more comfortable, because actions speak louder than words, right?
Yeah.
We have to make them comfortable. You have to make them feel comfortable. He's just come out, or he or she's just come out of prison, you know? Or maybe, even when some people are wearing earrings, or they've got nose studs or tattoos.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Imagine you brought up in a family where your parents probably don't agree with tattoos or nose studs and that. Just because other people are wearing it, right, doesn't mean that they're rebels.
Yeah.
There's a story behind it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just amazing. I mean, when I talk to, the first thing, before I forget, is just going back to what I mentioned first, and I'll tell my missus this as well, is that I can tell some people have got sorrows. I can tell it from their face. Or maybe I've heard from maybe a close friend or family that, you know, they're going through that. But they try their best to be good listeners to me.
Yes.
So when I'm talking to them about something, they try their best to, you know, really make time for me, you know?
And I think that's so obvious to me when I see that, because if you're a person that is constantly giving to other people, that's kind of like a red flag for me, or a warning sign to say, okay, they're over giving, maybe, you know, trying to make up for their own lack inside. And I when I first started working in the job that I do, I was so passionate and so excited about it that I just wanted to help everybody. Like my hashtag was like heal the world, you know. And I was just constantly pushing myself and working all the hours that I could, because I just wanted to touch as many people as I could and help them. But in doing that, I was kind of, you know, neglecting myself. And this kind of comes back on that topic that we talked about, being selfish and self-love and self-care. I didn't do that. I kind of put myself to the wayside and thought, no, I can keep going, you know, I'm a trooper, I'm going to keep going because I want to do it and it's my passion. And I burnt out.
You burnt out, exactly,
Yeah, absolutely. And then you're forced to kind of step back and think, okay, now I need to look after myself. And it's not a want, it's a need. But yeah, self-love, self-care is so important, because we've got to fill our own cup. If we're not kind of filling our own cup full, how are we going to then, you know, spill that out onto our families, our children, our, you know, husbands and wives? We've got nothing left to give.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's come to that time where I want to touch upon something that you mentioned to me on a phone call, and you mentioned at the beginning of the show, but I didn't want to leave it until this time. Community.
Oh.
You've got a lot to say on community. I know that you have. Mashallah. Even yesterday's conversation, that we had a good lengthy conversation, and I really benefited from what you said about community. We have, alhamdulillah, we have a community to go to.
Yeah.
Right? It's like our second family, right? I think personally it's important to show not that attitude of, you know, don't really care. This is our family.
Yeah.
You know, and we're really lucky to have that. A lot of people around the world, they don't have communities to go to. And I know you get some you do get some bad eggs in there, right? But like I said yesterday, just have to learn how to handle them. Whereas we can work on those people who actually want to progress. And simple as being helping each other. And I said to you yesterday, and I said it earlier in the show as well, that I find it scary when I'm talking to someone, quite a lengthy conversation, first of all, that they actually still switched on. Yeah, I was surprised that when you were talking yesterday, you were still switched on as well. So I thought you're a bit different.
I wasn't sleeping.
I did because I know alhamdulillah, because we're both passionate about these kind of topics, and when I like to go on. You know, I just like to
really hammer that point home.
Exactly, yeah. You know, and get that point across. And I think it's just progressing from that. So, just in regards to talking about issues like that, discussing things which we're passionate about, and like I said, but after our conversation yesterday, you are one of the people that actually scared me, because you were still listening, and you're paying attention to what I said. I was like, wow, that means that, you know, I was like, Michelle really does care about what I say then. So that was really good. So thank you for that. And like I said, when I go to the mosque, or when I talk to people at work or in society, I get a bit thrown back when someone's actually paying attention after what all I've said. And the worst thing is when they pick on a point which I've just said and they question me on it.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, that person's sharp on it.
That's like I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah. And even further, they go further than that, and they not only are they listening, they've acknowledged my point, and they start advising me.
Wow.
And that's when I said to you, those are the people. Those are the kind of people that I'm after. I want to gain. I want them to say, give me a bit of energy, please. You know, share it. Go on, share me a bit of energy.
What can I learn from this as well?
Yeah. And you get those kind of people that they have so much energy, and they're ready to share it with you, and you feel buzzing.
Yeah.
Have you been? You know, when you've been around some friends where you like get so carried away with talking, and afterwards you come back home and you think, oh my god, I feel fresh now.
Yeah.
Like
or drained.
Or drained.
It's like, wow. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different energies and different personalities that you're around, isn't it? You definitely vibe with them. And
I've noticed you don't have to be an academic at that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we've got that all inbuilt in us, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I find some people who may not be a doctor, dentist, pharmacist. Now, all due respect with all those who are in that field, you're lovely people. But
hello.
Just even those people who may be working on average jobs, they've got some really nice stuff to say.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
it's like we said, you know, our children, you know, my children are 7 and 10, and sometimes I'm blown away by their wisdom. Like, I'm the student, they're the teacher.
Yeah.
And it's really humbling, actually, to be in that situation where you think, wow, you know, we think we know everything. We're trying to teach them, and actually, sometimes it's the other way around, and we've got a lot to learn.
Definitely. I said to you yesterday, I just want to repeat it for the benefit of the people at home, is that when I teach at madrasa as well, I try and listen to what they say.
Yeah.
Because listening to their opinions, I'm like, wow, Allahu Akbar, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing the stuff that you can learn from children. And I tell them to my missus as well, I'll make sure that I can spare my time on a Saturday going to madrasa and teaching, because that's also important for me. I've developed a lot personally just by teaching, you know. I don't like to have that typical, I'm sure a lot of people don't do that, but that authority, you know, as I'm the teacher, you're a student.
Yeah.
And some people, you know, you have to use a bit of authority to gain your objective, but not to say, it's really, really eye-opening to say, sometimes you go and you say, I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I don't know everything, you know.
That's amazing.
One thing I really wanted to touch upon, and I put this as a topic, or something to discuss, is let's be a bit honest about this.
Okay.
Because I'm not telling you, I'm telling me as well. I want to be honest about this. And that is time.
Okay.
Is it true I know this is a bit of a jump because 1 minute I'm just talking about Vanessa and just a minute, another minute.
I was just going to say how wonderful it's been as a revert to come into the community, and you know that I've had some amazing experiences, and you know, mashallah, it's been so lovely. So maybe we can touch on that another time, because we've got a lot to say in that direction, haven't we? But I just wanted to kind of put that out there because I've been welcomed into this new community, this new family, and it's a beautiful thing. And it was the one thing that I was kind of really looking forward to when I took my shahada, and I thought I'm going to have this whole new family that are going to welcome me in, and alhamdulillah, I'm finally getting there. So and that's thanks to your lovely wife and some other friends that I've met as well. Mashallah, so mashallah. It's really nice.
Thank you so much. That's really nice of you to say. Hope she's listening, by the way. I told her.
Hi, Zainab. She better be.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm hoping as well, like all my friends. Are you there?
So I think this would be interesting for all those people at home who are listening, and a question to them. And let's analyze it slowly, because I know that in the studio it's quite difficult because we're not as relaxed as there's a lot of things going through my mind I want to touch upon, and kind of make sure that I'm not start talking to myself in a bit, talking about things that they're like, what are you on about, So is it true we don't have time, or is it that we don't want to make time?
That's another good
interesting
point, isn't it?
So sometimes when cousins or family members or friends or family members say, can you just do this? I really got no time, haven't got time. They have got time, but I wouldn't blame them if, for example, I say to my friend, bro, do you want to go for to the restaurant after or takeaway? Let's go for some munchies, go out to eat or for dessert or something. I wouldn't be surprised if he says to me, bro, I really don't have time, I've got so much going on. It's important for me not to feel upset up to an extent, because I have to also realize that maybe he has got time, maybe I'm not a priority, maybe because he's genuinely got things going on in his head, work, family, all that. But I wouldn't be surprised if he honestly didn't want to spend time with me, because that makes me question myself. Am I a good friend? Am I showing that attitude that he actually wants to hang around with me? What habits have I got? And it's a famous thing that people say, those people who say they haven't got time, they're just talking all that, they do have time, but have you questioned yourself? Are you a good, not you, as in I question myself.
Has everybody questioned ourselves?
Exactly. Am I a good enough person that someone does want to take out their time for me? What's your take on that?
Wow, I'm just kind of letting that sink in, actually. That's really deep, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I think, look, it's a busy lifestyle that we all lead, so time is an issue. Time is absolutely a factor, because we've got so many things, we've got so many plates in the air that we're juggling, haven't we, all of us? But I think you're right when we use time as an excuse. It's quite an easy excuse to use. I don't know about you, but I often feel a lot of guilt around saying no to people, or thinking I really don't actually genuinely want to go and do that. If it's something in the evening and I've had a long day and I think, I just want to put my pajamas on and eat the ice cream and watch the movie, and someone's saying to me, let's go out, come on, let's go and do this and catch up, and I think, I really would love to do that, maybe another night this week, but tonight I really, really needed to just sort of prioritize that for myself. And I think in the past, I've always jumped up and said, yes, of course, let's do that, and I've kind of got myself into the mood and got ready, and it's been okay, we've enjoyed the evening, and it's always made me feel better, I guess. But as I'm getting older, and I'm very old, very old and very boring these days, but I'm starting to sort of prioritize myself a little bit. So for instance, if a friend said to me, even to this level, and this is going to sound really selfish and really icky subject to talk about, but if a friend says to me, I really need you at the moment, I need to talk about something that is really stressing me out, or it's really got me in a situation where I'm struggling a little bit. If I've got a lot on my own plate, or if I'm, busy with lots of things and I'm really, really struggling and I think, oh, have I got that time to be able to spend with that person? I would rather say, and be honest, be authentic and say, I haven't got that headspace for you right now. Like, how selfish does that sound? But on the flip side of it, it's kind of like, I'm dealing with my own stuff. So if I come to you now in this space when you really need me and I'm away thinking about my own stuff and my focus isn't there, am I being a good friend in that moment? When tomorrow, when I've kind of put a lot of this to bed and I've dealt with my own stuff today, maybe I can come and be with you 100%. You have my full focus, my full attention. I'm present with you. And I've really enjoyed sort of experimenting with that and thinking, is that a better choice to make as a good friend, that we can be that honest with somebody and say, I want to dedicate my time to you. You're important to me. You're special, and you deserve that kind of attention and that space.
Can I cut you off there? I wanted to ask you something, because I mentioned this yesterday as well when you were on the phone. Is that some friends, I think, brilliant point. You can be honest with them, they'll understand. What about sensitive people?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised who's sensitive, within our family, friends, our social circles. You'd be surprised, because some people are sensitive.
Absolutely.
They just don't say it. They just hide it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's dependent on what they've got going on as well in their own lives.
Yeah.
Because I think we're quite quick sometimes to think that everything's about us. If somebody says something to us and we take it personally, it's kind of like that's meant about me, or we see a message or, a certain post on social media. It's like, oh, what are they trying to say about me? Do you know what I mean? We're very sensitive and we take it all to heart. And actually, it's nothing to do with that at all. Yeah. That's kind of like our ego stepping in the way, isn't it? And making us think, it's all about me. So that we've got to be careful of that as well, I think. Because the ego gets in the way of everything, doesn't it? That's
a topic within itself.
It is, completely.
I'm
sliding it in there, like trying to...
You're going to have to leave for all those at home who are listening, you have to leave them suspense now.
Yeah.
Because that's a topic within itself. Imagine you've done a topic that, me, myself and I.
Yes, I love that. That's a really... I look at that, thinking on the spot. I'm really proud of you for that. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's from, you know that film, Me, Myself and Irene?
Yes, I had that come up. That's the film we could watch with the chocolate ice cream. We're just kind of getting this all planned out, aren't we?
Is Qasim involved as well?
Sorry?
Should we involve Qasim as well?
Yeah. I'm sure I wanted to get involved before he came in, didn't he? He was asking lots of questions, so yeah, he's invited.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, brilliant. So, just something else, because I've got things all over the place, but just going back to another thing I want you to just quickly touch upon. God, time goes quick, yeah?
It does.
Time flies.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just take a look. It's something that I put in my notes, and that is just a moment.
While you're looking for that, actually, I did write down another quote that I kind of wanted to share with you, and it was by Rumi. And I love him.
Yeah.
But he sort of says, when you meet someone that you love or care about, do you kiss their clothes? Now, that sounds really bizarre, doesn't it?
Say that again.
So when you meet someone that you love or you care about, do you kiss their clothes that they're wearing?
Is that a literal sense, or is that...
Well, this is how we need to reflect on this, isn't it? And go a bit deeper.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is that we should search out who's inside the clothes.
Yeah. Because, that might sound silly what I just asked, but some people actually do that, you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, in traditions?
Yeah, they kiss you, like, on the shoulder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, literally. So, like, I know that it's a bit of a sensitive topic, especially, with everything going on right now. But, like, Iranian men or just men within other cultures, they do kiss. And sometimes I've noticed that even when I go to the mosque, some people, when it's a happy occasion, they kiss me on my clothes. That's why I had that little light bulb effect. I thought, yeah. Sorry, just carry on.
I'm going to be looking out for that now. For kissing my cardigans and things. Yeah, so it's kind of it's making us think, isn't it, that we're not looking at the external. We're trying to get deeper than that and go under the layers and trying to find the person that's inside the clothing. And I sat for a little bit and kind of meditated on it, if you like, and thought we could actually go one step further and realise that we're walking around in this kind of physical body, this flesh suit, if you like.
Yeah.
And that if we take that layer off and we go deeper than that, there's actually a ruh, or a soul within us that we need to try and communicate with as well, and work with. So I thought that was just a really lovely quote to make us think about going deeper with people and really opening up and really trying to connect with them at that soul level.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. You know what? I want to bring that up, inshallah, if you can, another time.
Okay.
In regards to what you mentioned, that's brilliant what you mentioned. I think it would be good. It'd be justice for those out there who's listening to talk further about that, so they can benefit, inshallah, and I can benefit as well, definitely. But inshallah, listeners, for all you out there, join us next Monday at 7 p.m. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Stay tuned to